Hello guys, this is Imat, and today I am actually going to be showing you how to create your own inserts via Photoshop. I had a ton of requests from people asking exactly how I go about making normal inserts, seamless inserts, mapping, and all of this kind of different junk that have to go along with all the kind of the photo editing or designing side of pen modding. So I figured it would be a good idea, so let's just start at, making an insert. Well, first thing off is I actually have a RSVP insert template made up for you guys, believe it or not. I've been using it for quite some time. I actually custom mapped the inside barrel of an RSVP so all the dimensions are correctly done. So I'll put the file on an upload, so if you just click down around this area, or down below, I'll have a link over to the file that you can download. More than likely, I'll have the links also on UPSB as well. So first off, let me give you a quick walkthrough of my little template thing, because all you'd really have to do is just go to Open Template. That'd be it. So let's just start off with the insert. There's a few different things I want to make notice to you guys. First thing off is the way I usually approach inserts is in two different parts. So first we have our bottom half, and then we have our top half. So what this represents is the halfway line where if you take an image and then fold it over. Okay, let me just pull this up. This is what I use as a guideline. If you took this and flipped it over to the other side, so let me just make a quick copy. Duplicate, image, transform, flip, vertical. Now that you see that, that would give you a seamless design, considering this little quarter section would be the same image. So what I mean by that is, this is your halfway point. So let me take down some of these lines. All these different lines just represent little guide angles that you can use for, designing waves or any other kind of custom designs you want to use. So let's just kind of walk through which ones those are real quick. So over in division lines, I have a separate folder for it. All you do is just click the down arrow. And then I have all these different little labels. So let me just clear off some of these other ones. Just leave kind of the more important ones. Okay. Actually, let me just rename that one to center real quick. Okay. So this is our center line. What this means is this is 1/4 of everything here. So if you make a design, flip it vertically, and then put it on the other side of this where it meets the line, you now have a seamless design. All you do is just repeat that back over this halfway line. So create one design, make sure it folds right here exactly, then mirror it over to the other side, and then continue downwards. That will leave you with a seamless insert. So that's how you kind of get I get these little effects, so you always meet the margin whenever you roll up your piece of RSVP paper. So moving on from there, that's just the basic thing you need to know. This I always just have at the bottom because I get really tired of having to type out instructions every single time I want to release an insert. So I figured it would just be the best to release the directions, printing directions, name, details, all that stuff in this bottom little sidebar that people can always cut off later. So now over on this side, right here, this remove section, this is actually where I leave this on here for a specific reason. When you're folding up an insert, if you have it too short, this is exactly where the threads will start, or a little bit below even. So when you're putting in the insert, this gives you enough leeway to put it in the insert and not have to worry about creases or anything like that, because you can just snip this off the top after you're done putting the insert into the barrel. So once that's finished up, just snip and you now have a perfect insert. So you don't have to worry about trying to, jam it in with the end of an ink tube or anything else like that. So now let's just move into the nitty-gritty part of things. So let's just work with the very basic template without any of these other division lines, just working with the center and the halfway line. So all I'm going to do is just take off this viewable main area text off first. And so let's say you want to make a custom RSVP insert from scratch. So I'm just going to keep this super basic. I can show you, I'll pull up some other images later. But first, let me just work with a single color. So all you want to do is first, you want to just create a new layer. So just down here, below everything else, just do Control-Shift-N for a new layer, or you can just go up to Layer, New Layer, and you'll get the exact same option. So once you have this layer open, let's just say we want to make this a blue background color. So all we would do is click your little paint swatch over here, click, find the shade of blue you find most appropriate, hit OK. In case you're unfamiliar with what these are, this is your foreground color, which means this is the color you're currently using. The background color is a secondary color you can switch and toggle between. So that's just a quick little bit of info. Don't worry about anything past that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to change the background color itself. Doing that, we're going to go and click up on the paint bucket tool. And we now have a blue background. Alright, so now that we have a blue background, we probably want some kind of middle line. Well, the way this works is it all depends on your pen's balance. So it's kind of hard to say, well, this is the exact center of a pen. Well, it's very, very subjective, so I don't say this is, this is the spot you need to put your line. But what I do recommend is figuring out what actually works for your pen and then just kind of ballparking it, and then you can always re-estimate and readjust as needed. Alright, so from there, let's put in a small little, let's say, quick little line or center line. So I'm just going to estimate right about here. Make this about 2 centimeters, oh sorry, 0.2 centimeters wide. Oh, come on, there we go. Okay, now we have a nice little white line. Another little effect, if you want to, do some of the fancy things like I did on my sport inserts, is you can make kind of this double line. All you have to do is hit Control-J for duplicate layer, or you can right-click, duplicate layer. Just click on it, hold Shift when you do this, so it doesn't shift the actual position of it, except for the direction that you want. So, let's just say do a double line there. Okay. Next, I'm just going to create a new layer. Again, you can just go to Layer, New Layer, or Control-Shift-N. And now let's put in a little bit of a design or something, because that's what most people really want to see in their pens. So the reason I have a new layer up is so all my little painting and stuff I do will only apply to that, and I can duplicate as needed without affecting anything else. So from there, we're going to go over to our paintbrushes, because I have a ton of preset ones that you can mess around with or change. It's really up to you what you want to use. If you want to use a single designate image to crop and then, rotate and all that stuff, I'll show you that in a little bit later video if you'd like. But for right now, I'm just kind of keeping it as basic as I can. So first off is click on your little paintbrush tool, and then click on your little arrow here. And to change your paintbrush, you're going to click on this teeny little arrow play button thing. Okay, and this is going to bring up all your different little paintbrush presets. So let's just go with something really randomly cool. Let's see, what do I got? Vector Abstract 2. See what's under here. Okay, so I have some random vector graphics that I've downloaded. I'm not quite sure who they are courtesy of. Yeah, but it doesn't really matter at this moment just because I'm showing you some demos. Okay, so we found a design that I kind of like. This just suggests how big your paintbrush is. Don't make it too big, otherwise you're going to start getting a little bit extra pixelated, and it never turns out exactly how you'd like it to be. So, now we have our little paintbrush. I'm going to downsize this just a little bit. Okay, so let's just put this here. Oh, whoops, should probably set this. Opacity and flow just means how thick the image will come through or how transparent it will be. Flow just means of how harsh an airbrush or the brush you're using will be. So I'm just setting those to 100 right now just so you get the full bold effect, so it ends up being kind of like a vector. So just, let's say, click here. We have that. And let's just do one other really random tool, like, say, let's just do this. Okay, so there's our, at most, basic graphics. Okay, screw it, I'm going to put one more in just so I can feel more like a man. And there we go. Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to make this seamless. So what we do here is, well, first I'm just going to disable this so we can see just the graphic. So you see if I toggle this layer, which is just on off, it's just going to have just those brushes on it. So now what I'm going to do is actually take your little selector tool, go up to your little marquee, and you're just going to select and use the guidelines. Just create a square that lines exactly up with your line. So let's say right there. And what you're going to do is just right click, copy, or or just Control C, however you want to do your copying. Just hit copy. And now what we're going to do is we're going to just, if you just hit paste, it will create the exact same layer. So we now have two layers with the same design, so you can see how this one just kind of laid on top of it. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to mirror the image over to the other side. So you get image, transform, vertical. Okay, so you now see how you have this vertical design now. Now hold shift and drag down so it doesn't distort to the horizontal ranges. Okay. So now we have it duplicated over the same side. Now, there's a little issue that arises. Oh, what about this? Well, what we can do is actually just crop the upper end. So, again, choose your marquee tool. You can do this before you copy it even. I probably recommend that, actually. Copy. And then just hit it, edit. And go over to crop. Oh, whoops, why did I do that? Edit, image, trim. Oh, come on, don't need to start with me now. Oh, dirt, what am I talking about? I apologize. Skip that entire little section entirely. All you have to do is just go back to your original layer. I'm going to delete that second one I just made. Oh, Control D. Okay. So just going to go back real quick. So, first things first. Control. Choose your little selection. Copy, paste, and then use that new one, the new layer you just created, as your primary one. So now we don't have to worry about those little lines that were kind of jutting over the edge. So you can just delete that one if you'd like. And then we're just going to hit Control J or right click duplicate layer. And then transform it. And then hit flip vertical. And then you just transfer it over to the center line. So they just match up, like so. It doesn't matter if they're off just a smidgen. You won't see too much of a discrepancy when it comes to it. So now what you want to do is you want to take both of these layers, and now you want to duplicate these so you'll have this exact same thing but on the lower half. So duplicate, just select duplicate layers, and then just drag downwards. So now, what you should be ending up with is a seamless image. So let me just take off these center lines. And you'll see this like teensy little line here, so you can... Okay, see how that works. You can either, just means I have the selection thing just off a couple of pixels. That's not a big deal. I'm just kind of doing this on the fly so you can see what I'm doing. So when you get it down to the line perfectly, it'll match up no problem. Like so. So that would be the best I would have it. So there is your little design. Let me take this text off real quick. So that is actually how you create a seamless insert. So it's really not too difficult. If you would like to do just straight images, I'll show you that in my next video where you can just kind of morph them, flip them, tweak them, and I will show you the kind of image settings that I do putting into that. Okay, well, this has been a very basic tutorial on how to create RSVP insert, whatever, my brain's not working with me. I apologize, but okay. If you have any questions, email me at I'm at designs@live.com, or just get in touch with me at upsb.info, and I will see how much I can probably help you via text format. All right, till later. Take it easy, guys.